Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be testing out Flywoo's latest version of the wide lens set designed to address the narrow field of view on the DJI-04 Lite camera. I'll be installing it onto my Meteor75 Pro, which came with the DJI-04 Lite system, and I'll show a side-by-side comparison so you can judge for yourself whether this upgrade is worth the money and effort. In the box, you'll find the wide lens already attached to the 04 adapter piece, 18 and 20mm housings for larger quad setups, a bag of screws, and a Flywoo sticker. This product claims to bump the field of view from 117 degrees to 155 degrees, similar to what we get on the 04 Pro. If this kit lives up to its claims, it could potentially transform the 04 Lite into a one-size-fits-all video system that works not just for whoops and micro drones, but on your full-sized 5-inch and larger quads as well. The lens is significantly larger than the stock one, and looking at them side by side, it's clear that we may need to use a different canopy to get it to fit. But before anything else, let's take a snapshot of the 04 Lite's default field of view. With the drone standing at the edge of my desk, the blue board standing around 40 centimeters away just about fits in view, and I can still fit my hands on either side. Let's save this clip for comparison later. Now we can take apart the Meteor and detach the 04 Lite unit so we can replace the lens. It's fixed to the sensor board with some glue, so we'll use a heat gun to soften up the adhesive. I'm covering the lens with some masking tape so we don't damage it during the next steps. Now we can heat it up, just don't overdo it as you risk melting the plastic. That should be enough. Now we'll take a sharp tool like this knife and pry it off the board carefully. This next step is very important. We need to scrape off the remaining glue residue off of the board, making sure we don't damage the sensor in the middle. If you don't scrape off the glue, the board won't sit flush inside the adapter and you won't be able to get the lens to properly focus, as I found out the hard way myself. So yeah, just get the sides as flat as possible before pressing it into the Flywoo lens adapter, with the sensor of course facing inwards. Make sure you work on a clean surface so you don't get any dust trapped inside. Now we need to connect the air unit to the flight controller and power it up, so we can check how the lens looks in our goggles. As expected, it's completely out of focus. Not to worry though, we just need to rotate the lens until the image looks sharp. Just a quick note here, you may want to do this step somewhere you can focus the lens on something farther away. As in my first attempt, I had it focus on the ceiling. This resulted in a sharp image indoors, but flying outdoors, it looks rather blurry. Once you're happy with the video feed, you can fix the board to the lens adapter by applying some B7000 or similar glue to the back edges. You can also dab some glue on the side of the lens that meets the housing so it doesn't change the focus when you crash. With all that sorted, we can put everything back together. But as I mentioned earlier, the stock canopy isn't going to work. Thankfully, my supplier was kind enough to ship this 3D printed canopy along with the lens mod kit. I don't have the license to share the STL file, but there are some free ones you can look up on Printables or Yegi that should work similarly. With everything buttoned down, let's see how the modifications affected the weight. It comes up to around 55 grams with a 550 mAh battery, which is about 1 or 2 grams heavier than the stock setup. Now let's check the field of view. Setting the drone at the edge of the table again, we can see that the blue board appears farther away even though it's standing at the same distance as we had it previously. We can see more around the sides of it as well, and there is clearly some distortion around the edges, like a fisheye effect. Comparing it side by side, we can clearly see a significant increase in the field of view, as well as the image distortion. I wish I had adjusted the camera angle to match better though. Now here's what it looks like flying through an obstacle. It may not be immediately apparent in the footage, but with the stock lens, the obstacle already disappears out of view even before I pass through it. With the wider lens, however, I can see it at the edges right up until the point of crossing through. Now I haven't tried out racing myself, but I imagine this should help when navigating through gates in quick succession. It's also helpful in situations where you fly in close proximity with objects. As in testing, I found that I hardly crash into things sideways or scrape across the ground like I used to ever since I installed the wide-angle lens. The wider field of view also looks nice for cinematic shots, though I've yet to test if the distortion can be fixed in gyroflow. In summary, I think this product is a step in the right direction compared to its predecessor. The asking price of around $20 seems fair considering it includes adapters for larger builds, and it does what it claims to do quite well. On the other hand, if you've never had issues flying the 04 Lite as it is, then there's not much reason to install this kit. The weight is the biggest factor when it comes to mods applied to tiny whoops, but if you aren't racing with it and just doing casual freestyle stuff, then I can definitely recommend this product. This video was not sponsored in any way, and I purchased this kit with my own money. But if you found this video useful, please do leave a like and subscribe if you can, as it definitely helps the channel grow at no cost to you. Thanks for watching until the end. You can expect to see more of this type of content in upcoming videos, and I hope to see you all in the next one. That's all for now. I'm off to send it.